Hi everyone, and welcome to Screams After Midnight, the TV edition of Screams After the Midnight. I am Peter, and that is Tim.
Yellow.
Now we, of course, are working our way through Tales From the Crypt, the TV show from HBO. I've never seen it before, so this is my first time through these episodes. This is the second episode, so this is Season 1, Episode 2. It's called All Through the House. Full spoilers for the episode as always. We're going to get straight into it here. So the interesting thing about this one, before we even get to any of the details about it, is that this is actually one of the stories that was in the movie from 1972.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things we'll be pointing out as we go here are some of the differences between this and the movie version. But big points here. I forgot to mention this last week about the first one. I forgot to mention that the first one was directed by Walter Hill. And I think it's worth pointing these out because a lot of them are known people. Because this week, this episode is directed by Robert Zemeckis, who of course is known for Back to the Future and has done stuff like what was that one, the train, Polar Express, and Castaway, and a bunch of stuff, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, bunch of stuff. Also written by Fred Decker, who you may know as the director of RoboCop 3. Okay, maybe not that one, but Night of the Creeps and Monster Squad are pretty popular from the 80s.
Yeah.
He did those, so. And he's also currently co-writing the new Predator film with Shane Black. So
nice.
Yeah, I'm dropping some knowledge on you here, but no. So it's actually really notable people. There's like Robert Zemeckis isn't a nobody, and it's not even like this was before he was famous. He already did Back to the Future at this point. This was 1989, so worth mentioning. Much like we discussed last week, there was a lot of recognisable faces popping up in here. Now, it's worth mentioning, none of the characters in this have names, except maybe the daughter, but they're all credited as the wife, the husband, the Santa, and the daughter. And the plot of this one is that a woman kills her husband on Christmas Eve because, she wants the insurance money and whatever. And unfortunately, there's also an escaped psychopath dressed as Santa who is going to show up at her house. And she can't just call the police because she's just murdered her husband. And that's the plot of this. So it's a lot of fun. But as I was saying about the cast, the wife is the therapist from the Lethal Weapon movies.
Oh.
The Santa is the villain from the Darkman movies.
Oh.
The husband is the villain from the movie Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
Okay.
I don't know if the daughter's been in anything. I didn't recognise her, but I recognised I recognised the other three. Is what I'm saying.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's where all the faces came from this week. But so Tim, you've not said anything yet. You've made a variety of noises that have been deeply entertaining. But what did you think of the episode?
I liked it a lot, even though we're coming off just watching the movie 2 weeks ago or something. So it kind of feels like the second time seeing this story, but it is, not totally different. Like there's the main backbone of what the story is there, but there's a lot of extra padding in this, which obviously they had to do to make it a little longer.
I don't know if I agree with padding per se, because they actually took a lot of stuff out that was in the movie as well.
Okay, such as,
because the movie spent a lot of time of her covering her tracks and cleaning up the blood, and there was a lot more of that in the movie. I felt like there was just as much taken out almost as there was added in.
I disagree with that, because I feel like thinking back to the movie, I feel it didn't feel like it was that segment was that long.
It was, no, don't get me wrong, it was definitely shorter in the movie, but it wasn't shorter by much.
Yeah.
Once you take the opening and the ending of the Crypt Keeper out of this, you're down to maybe 25 minutes versus maybe, I don't know, 15 or maybe closer to 20 in the movie, something like that.
Maybe this just felt like it had a lot more going on. Well, no, I would say this definitely did have a lot more going on. There's a lot more back and forth between the wife and the Santa. It almost played out kind of like a cartoon at times.
It did, and I actually kind of liked it more because of that. I preferred this to
Yeah.
the movie version. Now this one is a lot more silly, and forgetting the movie version for a minute, like it's even just a lot more silly compared to last week's episode. The first episode, I would not have called that first episode cheesy in any way.
Yeah.
Whereas this one is full on cheesy. They're having fun with it. Zemeckis is clearly having a blast doing these silly things. Like there's the moment where, like, she's already killed her husband with the fire poker, but she has this idea, which I was shocked the movie version didn't have this idea. But she has this idea. Oh, wait a minute! I can frame this crazy Santa who's already killing people for the murder.
I really like that aspect once she kind of makes that connection.
Yeah, it's a really good idea. It makes complete sense. I mean, she still has to explain the fire poker wound in the back of the head, but you know she can easily explain that as like he grabs that too and kills him with it. You know, but she's hitting him. Well, hold on, I was just going to get to the moment I was talking about. Is she's got the axe and she's going to try and put the axe in her dead husband's head so that it looks like, you know, the axe wielding Santa Claus has done this. And she closes her eyes when she swings, and she misses the head on the left. She does it again, and then misses just on the right. And it's only until the third hit that it's actually connects. And it's just a really sort of fun little slapsticky moment, which kind of is just part of the tone of all this. It's like, even though it's a horror, you know, story, it's very black humor in that sense.
I feel like those are the two kind of spectrums you usually get from this show. Is there's either this kind of cheesy live action cartoon-esque kind of ones, or you know, the more serious, darker, sometimes like even creepy kind of ones, and which I think they're all great. I love, you know, all aspects of it, and yeah, it was really fun. It was a like a dark kind of twisted comedy to it. And I was just gonna say about the fire poker wound to her head. I kind of got the feeling when she was over his body with the axe that she was kind of trying to line the axe up with the fire poker wound, because it actually kind of went
true.
like more towards the top. So, which I feel like, you know, like if you know the cops are good, they can probably like be like, hey, wait a minute, there was a wound earlier and stuff. But obviously, you know, she might not be thinking straight or know that, but yeah, I felt like she was trying to do that.
Well, much like the movie version, she is a horrible killer because she kills her husband without even checking that her daughter's asleep. Like the daughter's like actually almost walks in on it in this version, and then on top of that, like she then does a couple of things that are really like, I mean, maybe the daughter won't pick up on this, but the daughter says as she's getting tucked into bed after she's already killed the husband, she says, "Oh, mummy, what do you want for Christmas?" And she goes, "I already got it, honey. I already got it." It's like, yeah, that's not suspicious at all. And then she immediately phones her new like boyfriend, I guess. Actually,
this sounds like such a dirtbag.
Yeah, this is actually one of the nice little touches I think they added for this version. Is that the husband in this case isn't the father of the kid; it's a stepdad, because it sets up this idea that she's already moved through multiple, you know, long-term partners before. So actually, in a weird way, they actually made an effort to justify her character wanting to kill him a little bit more. It was more in character. But she immediately calls her like new boyfriend and says, "I did it. The money's all going to be ours." And she talks about the insurance money over the phone. I'm like, okay, admittedly, you know, we're not at the time where they can like
not everything's like digital recorded.
Yeah, like it's not going to be recorded. But like, if this boyfriend, if this like other guy wants to make a deal with the police at any point to get off scot-free, like he can tell them this, and it's like, oh, they can at least check that she made a phone call to him right after. You know, like there's a trail. Like you're setting yourself up. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, the other thing I was cracking jokes about like throughout it was how fake the snow looked. At one point when the Santa gets hit in the head with the axe and he falls into the snow, it like just kind of like kicks up as if it's made of, like, it's just feather, you know.
Yeah, it looks like the kind of like set dressing they would have at like a like those Santa villages at the mall they have like during Christmas when like little kids go to see Santa. Seems like that kind of fake snow. But
despite all that, it's actually a relentlessly fun little piece when you know she's hiding at the windows and she's looking through trying to find a Santa. There's a great moment at the start when the daughter walks in after she's just killed the husband, and it's the shot you get is from the front of the husband's like dead head, but you see the daughter behind him, but she doesn't know he's dead, and he's kind of slumping forward as if he's about to like just like fall over because he's dead.
Yeah.
But he's staying upright just enough that she won't like question much.
Yeah. It reminded me like almost like a comedy in that aspect. Like, you know, if I don't know, people are trying to like hide something from their mom, you know, like if they like have something like in the closet or something, they kind of trying to keep hidden or like, you know, out of view or making sure it doesn't move. Very nice little comedic touch to it. I also kind of liked how much of a dick the house was.
Yeah, the doors in this house are like they just keep shutting, and like she literally goes into a closet to get a gun at one point, and as soon as she tries to come back out of the closet, the handle just breaks off and she's stuck in the closet as the Santa is like going up a ladder to the daughter's room, and it's just like this house is like this house must be sentient, and it must be against you right now because it's doing everything in its power to stop you. Actually, a dumb moment, which really made me laugh, is at one point when she's out, after she does the whole axe thing with the dead husband, she's going back inside and she trips and she loses her keys fall in the snow, but you can still clearly see the keys, like just sitting there on the step. And her hand actually basically goes onto them and touches them, but then all of a sudden she's sort of like moving her hand around and she can't find them. It's like they magically vanished from underneath her fingertips. It's so weird. Look, the snow on the step is not that thick. You know, it's not even like an inch thick. It's like like it gets really thin at the edges. It's just, you know, like as soon as she starts moving her hand, you can see the concrete.
Yeah, it feels like there could have been an easier way to kind of show the keys getting lost.
Maybe have them fall off to the sides so they get into the dirt in the snow. You know, it's a bit harder to find them in there. That was weird. I feel like I'm complaining a lot, but I actually had a lot of fun with this.
No, yeah, it is super fun. And I like the guy that plays the Santa. I just like he's that kind of like blathering like psychopath that's just kind of like making like weird noise like like I don't know, he seems like so out of it, just like so like crazy and demented.
He's just thrilled to be killing.
Yeah,
that's just all. He's got an admiration for his job that he just loves. As we spoke about last week, many of these episodes are about like a person who's done something wrong getting their just desserts at the end, and you feel a little bit bad in this case because it seems like the daughter's also going to get it, and she's not really done anything to deserve it.
Maybe I almost got the feeling though that he is kind of taking to this Santa role, and that he, is almost seeing himself as the guy who's like delivering like, naughty and nice to the people, and that he might punish the mom but leave the kid alone because she was like a, nice kid that let him in or something. But I mean, I don't know. That's just the way I kind of felt.
Maybe.
I mean, who knows what happens?
He seems like such a raving lunatic though that I feel like he's probably just killing everyone.
Who knows what he's gonna do?
Yeah, but no, I thought it was fun. I thought it felt typical in the sense that they weren't showing that much blood. You didn't see the axe guy in the head. Yeah. It was off camera. But
probably the goriest thing was probably when she stabs him with the icicle.
Yeah, because she doesn't even stab him; she slits him across the face. It's like a slice rather than a stab. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which, good fun. All in good fun. But no, it's a really fun. Like you said, it's kind of like a cartoon with them playing cat and mouse. And at one point he's knocked out, and she has this plan for him to be framed for the murder. But then he wakes up, and she doesn't know where he is, and it becomes a game of where is the other person. Yeah. And that's always fun to watch. This is very much my kind of plot. This set in one location, game of cat and mouse. So this is very much in my wheelhouse. So no.
Yeah, I like that. And then when we talked about it in the movie version, I'll just mention it again. But I love Christmas themed slashers or psychopaths, whatever. you want to call them. For whatever reason, just like a crazy guy in a Santa suit appeals to me.
Yeah, by all means, go back and check our movie review of Silent Night, Deadly Night that we did
Oh, yeah.
last December.
Mm.
I'll make sure there's a link to it because it's relevant. But no,
Yeah.
that'll wrap up episode 2 of Tales from the Crypt and our continuing retrospective reviews of
I
it.
will mention real quick too before we go. Felt like the Crypt Keeper segment wasn't great this time. The kind of the pun at some of the puns at the end, I wasn't really feeling.
I don't know. I was quite fond of the "Be careful what you axe for Christmas."
That was all right. The one before that though, I forget what he said, but it was something like really just like like oh he loves her dot 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 to pieces. I was like that's kind of weak.
Oh yeah,
But
it is. Yeah. So you're saying they get better though as the show goes on?
I mean, I'm going off my whatever 13, 14-year-old brain when I last watched them, and I remember them being like more entertaining. So I'm hoping, they're probably working the kinks out, getting the character down.
Honestly, like for me, coming into this, like having never seen it before, I was kind of just expecting bad puns, and for me, I'm just kind of enjoying it in a like bad
the
way.
the the thing is though, it's like there's like puns that are so spectacularly bad that they're good. Like the axe 4 I thought was good, but then there's some that's just like that's just you're not even trying.
Yeah, okay.
But we'll see. I
Uh,
look forward to seeing more of them. He's always
but
a highlight.
yeah, that's episode 2 of Tales from the Crypt and our ongoing retrospective. Let us know what you thought of this episode of the show in the comments below. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. Get us on Twitter at mild_fuzz. Check out the other content. Of course, we do horror movie reviews over on the Mild Fuzz Movies channel, which is the sister channel to this one. We just did Don't Breathe, and coming up next week is Blair Witch, so check those out if you're interested. Again, there'll be a link in the corner in the more information box. But otherwise, guys, keep watching Scary TV. We will see you next time.